3 decades of experience in the region as an ad executive is Ramzi Raad. He's the chairman and chief executive officer of TBWA Raad Middle East, and he joins us via Skype on business, in fact, from Riyadh. Ramzi, it's nice to have you on the Global Exchange. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
In fact, this is a case, and I think you've seen this through many years and many examples, where IKEA was trying to be culturally sensitive. At least it thought so, but it backfired horribly. How many times have you seen this through your career where Western companies come in and say, wow, I've heard this about Saudi Arabia, so I'll probably overreact?
Look, it's a fact. It has happened many, many times. But what surprises me in this age of fast communication, social media and the internet and everything, where people can be really informed, that companies can get ill-advised and then have to suffer consequences. Because the situation on the ground here has changed dramatically. There are a lot of cliches, misconceptions about what was allowed on the Saudi advertising scene and what's not allowed. It's very simple. One has to be respectful to the culture and the habits of the kingdom, and not to take it to an extreme. I have here an example. This is a recent issue of a female magazine published in Saudi Arabia, and it has on the cover a lady. So gone are the days where you can't feature women unless they are veiled and the rest of that. All it entails is really to show women decently dressed, and that's acceptable.
In fact, Sweden's trade minister rightly suggested that one cannot remove women or airbrush or Photoshop a woman out of a photo. But what is the reality in Saudi Arabia? I remember going in the 1990s, and you picked up a Newsweek or another publication from the West, and you saw the newsagent took a black marking pen and covered up the arms of the women and covered up the faces and the necks because it was too revealing. Things have changed under King Abdullah. Give us a sense how this has opened up, and what does it really mean for your business and advertising?
Look, it's very simple. If we look at the television scene in the Arab world, all the leading television stations, the pan-Arab television stations, as we call them, are owned by Saudis. And they run soap operas imported from the West, Hollywood films, and everything is shown on every evening on those television stations that are owned by the Saudis. The media scene, the print media scene, magazines and newspapers, they all carry women, provided you don't show revealing shots of skin and the rest of that. Now, the reality on the ground, in the kingdom itself, on the outdoor media, you don't see women still. There has been recently some attempts, but going to that extreme, like reprinting a catalog because you're misinformed and you think that you can't do it, it's no more the case. There has been a lot of advancement. The media scene has changed, and what used to be a nightmare for us because we used to have to produce commercials or do print advertising in 2 versions, one for the rest of the Arab world and one for Saudi, it's no more the case.
Give us a sense, Ramzi, if you can, the tensions this creates for King Abdullah and even for women on the ground in a more conservative city like Riyadh, or if you go to the east in Daman, with the pushback from the Salafists who see a very conservative interpretation of religion.
Look, this is the reality of the market, and it's not an easy thing that can really be changed overnight. There has been gradual change on that front, and even walking on the street, I mean, the situation is different from the past. You can see women with uncovered hair and the rest of that, which was not the case in the past. Everybody, all women were totally covered and so on. So things are easing up. But in a country that has been over the hundreds of years conservative, you can't expect a sudden change. One should appreciate the fact and should be tolerant to the fact and should be respectful to what is happening because it's going gradually in the right direction.
Final question for you, because you've worked in the region for so many years. In fact, you're on business right now. you have to be in the Saudi market. I mean, this is a market that's spending $500 billion on development and creating new cities. Advertisers want to be in front of the Saudi consumer right now.
Certainly, the Saudi advertising market size last year was 1.4 billion US dollars. Saudi can really spend. I mean, the advertising market can grow much bigger here because the affluent, the well-to-do consumers are well concentrated in the kingdom, and this is the largest free trade Arab market. And we all realize that. We and the advertisers, the manufacturers, and people who are sending products to this market. So the potential of growth is really phenomenal here. And one needs to know the rules of the game, be respectful, and you can have successful business with no concern.
Okay, it's good to have you on the Global Exchange. Thanks for joining us from Riyadh on the Skype line.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ramzi Raad, once again, the chairman and CEO of TVWA Raad Middle East. Well, mine workers have made their anger known. Now, South African truck